Being familiar with the verb tener has a lot of side benefits and advantages. One of those is that we can now express had to. So this is going to be a new handle. For example, I had to whatever. Now we already have I have to, which is in the present tense, and we know that is tengo que. So what we're talking about now is expressing I had to or I was having to. Now it works very similar. All we do is take the line past, which is tenía, and we add que to that. So tenía que would be I had to or I was having to. Now, just like any handle, what follows is the full verb. So how would you say I had to do it? Tenía que hacerlo. Let's stop here for a second. So here we have tenía que hacerlo. If we wanted to say I have to do it, it would be tengo que hacerlo. Here we have the handle tengo que, I have to, followed by the full verb hacerlo, do it. Tengo que hacerlo. Now the same thing is happening in the past. We're simply switching it for tenía. So now I had to do it would be tenía que hacerlo, or equally it also means I was having to do it. How do you think you might say you had to do it? Tenías que hacerlo. Here we have tenías for you had to or you were having to do it. Tenías que hacerlo. He, she, or it had to do it. Tenía que hacerlo. We had to do it. Teníamos que hacerlo. They had to do it. Tenían que hacerlo. Let's try it now with some other verbs, because remember this is a handle, so we can put whatever verb we like after it. How would you say we had to sell it? Teníamos que venderlo. We had to go there every day. Teníamos que ir allí cada día. Here we have we had to, teníamos que. The verb to go is ir, and there is allí. So we had to go there would be teníamos que ir allí, and then every day, cada día. Try to say they had to find it for me. Tenían que encontrarlo para mí. Now ask, did you have to buy it yesterday? ¿Tenías que comprarlo ayer? She had to tell her the truth. Tenía que decirle la verdad. So again, this is what we use 90% of the time for expressing I had or I was having. Now, again, if the I had is clearly a dot in the past, where we have to switch into tuve and so forth, it works in exactly the same way. We would have I had as a dot in the past, which we know is tuve, and to that we would simply add que. So it's the exact same principle. For example, here we have a very clear dot in the past. I had to do it at 2 o'clock. How would you say that? Tuve que hacerlo a las dos. Now this could be easily changed into the other angles. So for example, tuve que is I had to do it at 2. But if we had tuviste que hacerlo a las dos, would be you had to do it at 2 o'clock. Or he had to do it at 2 o'clock would be tuvo que hacerlo a las dos. We had to do it at 2 o'clock would be tuvimos que hacerlo a las dos. And then they had to do it at 2 o'clock would be tuvieron que hacerlo a las dos. So here we're using the dot past and adding the que to get that handle. So I don't want you to worry too much about this particular tense of tuve, tuviste, tuvieron, so forth, because as I've said already, most of the time, probably 90% of the time or more, you will fall into this tenía que, which is honestly a lot easier because it's less irregular. So that's some good news for us. So here we have the handle for had to, I had to, she had to, he had to, they had to, we had to, and you had to, with tenía and then adding the que.